Hey, what's up guys? In this video, we're going to talk about upgraded stock turbos. So you might have heard terms like stuffed turbo, big wheel stocker, or BWS, ported turbo, or any of the other names, but they're all referring to the same thing. And that is a stock turbo that has been upgraded with a larger compressor wheel and a different turbine. So obviously the goal of upgrading your stock turbo is to improve the performance of the stock turbo. So this turbo here is from a BK1 2.0T Genesis Coupe, and it comes with a 13T compressor wheel and a really small 12-blade turbine. Now this turbo is okay for a car that's daily driven, you're going back and forth to work, but it's not really good for a car that you want to have a lot of fun with, get some performance out of, racing your buddies, whatever. This turbo is good for maybe 250, 260 horsepower, depending on the setup and the tuning. So obviously not that great for winning races. So this is our stage 1 version of this turbo, and we've upgraded the compressor wheel to a much larger 19T billet compressor wheel. And the goal for this is to increase the airflow at the same boost levels, or more CFM for the same PSI, and there's a lot of benefits of doing that. And this turbo is good for adding a lot of low to mid-range power and a ton of low to mid-range torque, which is definitely going to be noticeable on the car. And while it does improve the top end power, it's still pretty limited because it retains the stock 12-blade turbine. So on the top end, it tends to get choked up. So to fix that, we have our Stage 2 upgraded turbo, and it comes with the same 19T compressor wheel, but we've swapped out the very tiny turbine for a much larger 9-blade HL turbine. And this is going to significantly improve the top end performance. So how much power can you expect from upgrading your stock turbo? Well, that really depends on the turbo itself. Obviously, there's physical limitations of the frame. Also depends on which upgrade you go with. So obviously the larger the compressor wheel, the design of the compressor wheel, and obviously your turbine, it's going to depend. You can expect anywhere from 20 to 50 horsepower, maybe even a little more depending on your setup and your tuning. Now, don't expect to get 100 extra horsepower out of this type of upgrade. It's just not going to happen. So having said that, why not just get a big turbo kit? And there's actually a lot of reasons why you would not want to go with a big turbo kit. The first is the build. Not everybody is looking for that monster build. Not everybody wants 500 or 1,000 horsepower, believe it or not. So these upgraded turbos are a really good option to consider for mild builds. So then there's the cost. Big turbo kits can get really expensive depending on what your goals are and what you're trying to do, and of course which kit that you get. Upgraded turbos can be very budget friendly depending on the company you go with and the options that you pick. The most expensive one that we offer is this one here, and it's $850. And that's only because we have to also machine out the turbine housing in order to accommodate this larger turbine. So very budget friendly. Another issue is the drivability. So when you install a big turbo kit, you tend to lose all of that OEM drivability, which some people really care about. With the upgraded stock turbos, you retain most, if not all, of that drivability. And then there's also weird issues like if you live in places that have emissions and they do smog testing or visual inspections, if that technician pops the hood and he's got a big turbo sticking right in his face, he's probably going to start asking you questions. But if he opens the hood and he's looking at what looks like a stock turbo, he's not going to think much of it. So they're very good stealth mods, if you will. So those are a lot of the reasons in favor of going with an upgraded stock turbo over a big turbo kit. So what do you need in order to get one of these turbos running? Well, in most cases, you directly swap out the old turbo for the new turbo. Nothing else is really needed. In some cases, you may need larger injectors. Just depends on your platform and how maxed out your injectors are in stock form. And tuning-wise, most of the time you can run these on the stock tune. Most of the stock tunes have enough room to accommodate the additional airflow. However, if you're already tuned, then you definitely need to get retuned in order to take advantage of the turbos. But I recommend you get tuned anyways, because you did spend the money, so you might as well get tuned to get the most performance for your money. Okay, so that's what you need to know about upgraded stock turbos and what they are. So next time you're out buying performance parts, definitely give them a consideration. Have fun.